If your ex broke up with you out of the blue after you never fought and everything was perfect, and then as you're trying to talk with them after the breakup, they've even started to become cold or mean, watch this video. A lot of people take not fighting in the relationship as a sign of why everything's perfect. And it can definitely feel like that sometimes, but it's not actually a sign of relationship health. It's actually a sign that you have a communication breakdown, and oftentimes your partner is an avoidant attachment. Now, specifically with a dismissive avoidant, they're not going to tell you their needs. They're not going to tell you their boundaries. And you're going to be violating their boundaries without knowing it, not meeting their needs because you're not a mind reader. And this is going to happen where all this stuff starts to accumulate throughout the relationship. So one day, out of the blue, when maybe even the day before, you had a great vacation together, you had a I love you moment, whatever the case was, all of a sudden, they're going to tell you that we need to talk. And in this talk, you're going to discover that the reasons they want to break up, if they even tell you what they are things that you've never heard before for the most part. And that's probably because your partner was left to their own in childhood. They were neglected. So they didn't have somebody coming to them trying to work through problems, communicating, cooperating. They were left to their own devices. Anytime they brought their needs to their parents, that they were most likely dismissed, okay? So they start doing this to themselves, and anytime they have something that's a problem, what do? They kind of push their emotions down about it, and they just keep moving. And so they handle their own shit, but mostly it's just avoiding it. And they expect you to handle your shit, and they don't really want drama from you either because they're repressing their emotions. Now, it's not just within your relationship that this is happening. They're also doing this at work or with their family too. So their whole entire life is characterized by this lack of communication, which results in themselves spreading themselves really thin, getting overwhelmed. And one day, out of the blue, the problems pile up so much to where they're breaking up with you just as a form of stress relief. Now, if you stay in contact with them after the breakup, a lot of times they'll ask you to be friends. They'll say, hey, maybe we can get back together in the future, etc. This is confusing for you as the person that's getting broken up with. So to the degree that you stay in contact with them, eventually when they start becoming cold and mean, what you're running up into in that case is a deactivation strategy. People with a dismissive avoidant attachment style will utilize what they call a deactivation strategy, where they're pushing you away. So sometimes your ex, who've never been mean throughout the whole course of the relationship, will now all of a sudden become mean to you just to get you to leave them alone, because they're trying to create space because they have fear of intimacy and they also have become overwhelmed in the relationship. Now, if you want to learn how to reattract somebody like this and also how to make the relationship last, click into my picture right here, click down into this link, set up a call with me, tell me your story, and I'll give you a step-by-step game plan on how to get your ex back.